Eternights is an RPG with horror elements, a dating sim, and cute anime girls. It might as well be the poster for this channel. But how do all these elements come together? Let's find out. I'm Adam Scott, and this is Eternights.
I can't wait for the world to come back. We should get out of here. It's still too early to close off your heart and give up.
Eternights released digitally for PS4, PS5, and PC in September 2023, with a physical version that was just released in November only for PlayStation. It was developed and published by Studio Sai, which is super impressive considering how small the team is. Now you've probably already heard the comparisons to the Persona series, with its teenagers fighting supernatural enemies, social and calendar elements, and the overall gameplay. However, after doing absolutely everything and completing this game 100%, I can confidently say that Eternights isn't just an indie Persona. Yes, the influences are there, but the core game stands on its own and is very distinct from any influence. Okay, knowing what it isn't, let's now take a look at what it is, starting with the story. Eternights opens with your unnamed teenage protagonist setting up his dating app profile, while his best friend Chani gives him only the best tips, like lying about who he is so he'll be more appealing. You know, the huge. Apparently the advice is rock solid because almost immediately he matches with a woman who offers to send him dirty pics. Hell yeah, he didn't even have to use any pickup lines. So far, so good. But as he heads out to meet her in the flesh for what we can only assume is going to be the best day of his life, it's interrupted by the freaking apocalypse. Yeah, it just so happens there's an anti-aging drug called Eternights that—
Turn the friggin' frogs gay!
No, well, I don't know, maybe, but for sure it mutates people into monsters and causes all kinds of horrific events to occur. Alright, not the most ideal setting for a date. But then things go from bad to worse when a supernatural assassin slices his arm off using a magical sword. Okay, this looks bad, no doubt, but maybe we can turn these lemons into lemonade. Just then, a strangely flirtatious deity gives our hero a mystical glowing replacement arm that can transform into a sword or pretty much anything else. So now, with his best friend and a handful of other survivors, he decides to fight back against the forces of evil, save the world, and maybe, just maybe, find love along the way. The story's admittedly clumsy, but mostly serves as a backdrop to develop the relationships with the cast of interesting characters and to set up the gameplay. At its core, Eternights is one part action RPG and one part dating sim. Events are driven by your calendar, with a set number of free days before the next cataclysmic event unfolds. During the day, you'll spend time exploring dungeons or interacting with characters, and at night, you'll train with the other characters or help them to scavenge. I found myself knocking out all of the dungeon exploration first, and then spending the rest of the days increasing social stats with the other characters. I appreciated that days never felt wasted in Eternights. There's always something to do, and the frequent story scenes help to flush out the characters. You've always got a main mission on the horizon, and the calendar dictates how long you've got to complete your goal. It's a satisfying loop, with each part complementing the other. Dungeons are great to navigate through with these interesting, often nightmarish designs, with tons of nooks and crannies to explore that never get too overwhelming, filled with fun puzzles and obstacles to overcome. One moment you're rearranging picture tiles, the next you're stealthing through dangerous sections, or even racing on a ball cycle. These segments never overstay their welcome, and with enough variety to remain fresh throughout. But of course, most of the time, you'll be fighting the monsters lurking about. Combat in Eternights is pure hack and slash, starting out with light and heavy attacks and a dodge. You'll string together simple combos while trying to evade incoming attacks. Similar to Dead or School or Bayonetta, perfect dodges slow down time, giving you an opportunity to retaliate. And this is essential for giving some breathing room. Hitting an enemy enough times within a short period creates a combo, allowing you to perform a stronger attack or a finisher. Some enemy types have barriers that require using elemental attacks to destroy them completely before you can actually deal real damage. These trigger simple QTEs that, when successful, will wreck enemies. It takes a while to get used to the rhythm of combat, but as you progress, level up, and add new abilities, you'll become a force of nature. In addition to your powers, you'll be joined by allies who provide support and use their own special abilities. The three primary allies who join you in combat are Popstar Yuna, Hapless Min, and science-loving Saya. Yuna is definitely the most valuable party member with healing powers, but all three have elemental attacks that are helpful for breaking barriers, with Yuna representing fire, Min lightning, and Saya ice. You can call upon their unique abilities and attacks to help you in fights so long as you have enough SP, which I often conserved just for healing. Johan is the fourth who joins the group, though he plays a support role. He also provides special attacks you can unlock once you reach a sufficient bond rank with him. Chani is unique. He doesn't join you in battles, but as your friendship develops with him, he trains you in social stats that helps increase your bonds with the other characters, kind of like a wingman. And that takes us to the bond system, which along with the character relationships is truly at the heart of the game, and easily the most substantial and satisfying aspect of its storytelling. Between missions, you'll spend time getting to know your party members by spending time with them, going on scavenging missions, completing minigames, and choosing responses during story scenes. Over the course of the game, you'll continue to develop these relationships, potentially turning into love interests. Building these relationships not only gives deeper insights into who they are, which is a reward in and of itself, but also supports the rest of the gameplay. The bonding scenes in Eternights are always entertaining, and the romance elements are conveyed surprisingly well throughout the game. The cast is strong and fully realized. I love how they all seem very tropey at first, fitting into stereotypical roles, but as you learn more about them, they become complex and multifaceted. Yuna, the pop star who struggles to find herself and make up for her past mistakes. Min, who runs from her problems, suffering tremendous regret as a result. Saya prides herself on her passion for science and hides her less serious side, and is the best girl. Just saying. Johan with his deep sense of survivor's guilt following tragic past events. But the biggest surprise is Chani, who seems just like a one-dimensional perverted best friend, but reveals his depth throughout. That's not to mention all of the other supporting characters who add to the richness and diversity of the cast. If you appreciate well-realized character growth and strong writing, with the exception of some of the jokes, you'll love this aspect of the game. While not as deep as other RPGs, you'll continuously build and strengthen both your character and the party. As you earn XP, you'll increase your base stats, and depending on your responses, you'll level up your personality traits. These include expression, confidence, acceptance, and courage, which correspond to your stats such as attack and defense. As you increase your bonds with the other characters, you'll unlock more of their special abilities, and through the partner activities, you'll earn White Essence that you can use to acquire them. Black Essence is collected in dungeons and through battling enemies, which you'll use to strengthen your existing sword skills and unlock new ones. Along the way, you'll continuously add more and more options to the game's fast-paced combat, making it incredibly fun to engage with. All of this culminates in a satisfying system where everything you do contributes to your overall progression. Despite its short runtime, the characters grow together in a way that feels organic, and once the stakes get high enough, the bonds you've established feel strong and important. That all leads to a final act with an earned sense of urgency and an emotional, dense ending that'll hit you in the gut and pull at your heartstrings all at once. Despite the obvious budget limitations, Eternights is often a visual treat. The anime characters are well designed and wonderfully expressive, particularly in the fully animated cutscenes and illustrations at crucial moments. The 3D models take a step down in detail, reminding me quite a bit of Oculus Trip, and the environments are often sparse. However, the lighting and visual flourishes do a lot of heavy lifting, all but erasing the general lack of detail and bringing every scene to life. It's amazing to see the darkened hallways pop with energy during combat, or the characters bathed in moonlight. And much like your mom, there were parts where I just marveled at how good it all looks. A lot of indie developers should take note. The soundscape is fantastic too. There's voice acting available in English, Japanese, and Korean. It's rare to get voice acting at all in a game like this, let alone 3 languages. And at least for the English voice acting, it's really fantastic. There isn't a weak character in the bunch, but Chani is by far my favorite.
Damn right I am!
Adding a fun dynamic to all of his scenes.
So, what can I do? Spitfire? Fly?
And the music elevates each scene without being overbearing. I especially love the beautiful ending theme sung by Lorian.
I wish someday we could all understand the language of the world that was forgotten and those whispers.
That isn't to say Eternights is a wholly perfect experience. The camera is shaky throughout cutscenes in an attempt to capture a horror feel, though it can sometimes be too jarring and distracting. Camera angles can sometimes be problematic during fights, particularly when you're in close quarters. And not all of the jokes land like they should. However, on the whole, the package comes together incredibly well, becoming greater than the sum of its parts. Especially when compared to Persona, completing Eternights 100% is a far less daunting endeavor. You'll earn most trophies simply by playing through the story, with a few for scavenging items, maxing your stats, and of course maxing out the social ranks with every partner. Now, once you've raised your social ranks with everyone, pick one to be your final love interest, and don't cheat on them. Just trust me, you're looking at about 18 hours to do absolutely everything. There's no such thing as a perfect game, but this game is perfect for me. It's a triumph that this game was made by such a small studio, with so much charm and heart throughout. From the engaging dating mechanics that complement the rest of the gameplay, to the creative monster designs and fun combat, to all of the gameplay variety, the world-ending story, and the tight pacing. It's amazing how talented Studio Sai is and how much it got right with Eternights, proving if you follow your heart and stay the course, even when the odds are stacked against you, love is worth it.
Full of dust, blood, sweat. What's my role in that?
Those are my thoughts on Eternights. If you liked the video, hit like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want another game that you haven't played, check out my video right here. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.